thank you to our 3 sponsors for supporting our podcast. John Russell's Art Caterers and Milltown Pies, who offer fantastic catering services, Alexander Grace Law, who provide modern and client-led legal services, and SBE Furnishings, who offer high-quality furnishings and electrical items at fantastic prices.
Okay.
We like Michael Bull.
I've been seeing live, Jeff.
I know, yeah, I believe so, yeah. I bet you bopped away.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know, when we went, because obviously I had to go with my mum and dad, otherwise it would not have been socially acceptable for me to be there.
How old were you?
I've been 20.
I thought you were going to say you were about 11.
Oh, no, I was an adult. It was an adult choice.
But Susan and Graham had to take you.
We were sat there. It's full of, I would describe them as middle-aged women. You know, that's his.
Right.
That's his area, isn't it? You know, that's his. Yeah. So we were sat there, you know, a bit sheepish. And there were two women behind us that went, "Oh, could you imagine if he just looked at us and said our names and he brought us up onto the stage? That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?" And then he started his first song, and I think it was like a really modern song by Bruno Mars or something. And suddenly we heard this like pounding, and we thought, "What the hell is that?" And it were these women rushing to the front of the stage.
Oh no!
And there must have been 6 or 7 like lines of people back.
Right.
Absolutely mental.
Mental.
Ordered! Send more house to save the house! Come on, the house!
Welcome everybody to Lowerhouse Podcast. It's another edition we're putting out there for everybody to listen to, or not, whatever takes your fancy. It's we're still in lockdown 3, just about time-wise, so just place that. But and with me tonight, I've got 2 of the usual crew, Mr. Jez Hope and Mr. Joe Martin. So we'll just have a quick chat before we introduce tonight's esteemed guests. So I'll start off with you, Joseph. You're looking ravishing tonight. What have you been up to?
I believe it or not, this might be. I'm building a drain with Stan at the cricket club.
A drain?
Yeah. So in front of the clubhouse, and I'll also add that I'm probably the least qualified and useful person to be doing this. But in front of the clubhouse, it gets very boggy, and so Stan has decided we're putting a new drain in. A
drain in outfield?
Yeah.
So not a toilet drain or a rain drain or...
No.
It's not getting rid of all bullshit, is it?
Brilliant.
So yeah, that's what we've been as some of the ongoing improvements to the club. The new roof is finished.
Wow.
On the end of the end of the clubhouse. Yeah, over the dance floor. It's all been decorated this week as well. So I think that should be finished by next week, ready for when we open in late April, I guess.
Oh, send some pics of that, Joe.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, nice one. All right, well, thanks for that. And Jez, you're looking very relaxed on your chaise long there. You bring me up to speed with your goings on this week.
Yeah, will do, Gaz. Yeah, great to see you all. It's I don't think we've done one for 2 weeks, and I proper missed it. We're gonna have to keep penciling them in every week. Yeah, get myself comfy in this back room now. Football on one corner, chatting to some good lads. Yeah, it's all been good, Gaz. Not a great deal going on. Looking forward to, you know, the days getting longer and a little bit of cricket coming on, and my dog's getting a bit older now. She's about 15 or 16 months, and a bit of a story really. She's fantastic, really good, but she's in those adolescent years, and she's getting a bit mischievous, and she's eating, you know, her toys and the different treats we give her. So we need to get something that will last longer for when she's nibbling and to stop her coming and pestering us. So Lisa's gone out, done the research, and we got it delivered the other day. I've never seen anything like it. Bulls' penises, dried bulls' penises. Have you ever heard anything like that in your life? Honestly, I'll get one afterwards. I mean, it's not a full. It's not like an inflatable cock and balls. It's a proper dried little thin bull's penis. Well, it takes her forever to chew away at it. She loves it. I couldn't wait to come on and tell you about it.
Is that called gobbling?
I never thought of it like that. Actually. I never thought of it. But no, she's just let on for in disgust, as Bella, not Lisa. Yeah, so yeah, I thought that was really interesting to pass on to you, and whether the listeners are interested, some might know about it. But no, everything's great, Gary. It's great to see everyone. Thanks very much.
That's great, Jez. Thanks for that. For those who don't know, I'm Gary Morehouse. So without further ado, we'll move on to tonight's guest. This is a player who played in the early 80s, albeit only for a very short time with the club, unfortunately, but moved across town, controversially. Not many players these days sort of move between Burnley and Lowerhouse, but back in the days, this young man did. Went on to have a couple of really good seasons with Lowerhouse, and very much, I think, to the delight of everybody, sort of went and played professionally then around various clubs in different leagues. So tonight, we've got player number 401 in the Lowerhouse player number list, and that player is Mr. Graham Bushell. Welcome, Graham.
About time. Sorry, lads, we have a technical hitch.
No, but it's no problem, Bush. No problem. Great to see you.
It's good to see you, lads.
Really?
Tell you.
What have we got on there?
I didn't think I would see you tonight.
Until Shirley sorted it.
I've got dressed for it, you know.
Good luck.
He's got all whites on. Brilliant.
You know why? Because she's thrown every other thing. I've only got these left. I've no bloody cricket stuff. I've got my bat. I've got my bat in shed.
Got his cricket whites on.
I've got rid of all the coaching stuff.
All your whites up now.
Oh, hello.
I told her, get a brew and bugger off.
Yeah,
Told her.
It's good to see you. I haven't had a pint for since shutdown.
Great.
Not even at Christmas.
Wow.
I did but that were illegal. So I've not had a drink. I put bloody stone and a half on.
By not drinking?
Exactly.
I thought it was the other way around.
She's back. She buys a lot of biscuits, chocolate biscuits, and chocolate bars, and I've been on to them.
Right, Graham. So it's Shirley's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Get out of the room, and I just needed to turn this up. I'm going a bit deaf as well. How do you turn this thing up?
Get out of the room, but come and turn this up.
Yeah.
Hold on. Well, are you talking now? You can talk.
Hiya.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's
How
got
you doing,
on right
Graham?
now.
Yeah,
I can hear that in the other
that
room.
working.
Yeah, I'm saying, flipping mutton.
Right, good lad.
They were going to take me for a deaf ear check this today, but I'm not going. Sometimes it's better to pretend you're deaf. Especially when you're in Green Hill Club and you've been in all day. And she rings up. And the Wi-Fi is not very good in Green Hill. It's like our house. You're drinking already?
Yeah, I've got to just finish off a glass of wine I've had with my tea.
Well, you're as bad as Shirley. She's on that wine job.
Good on her. Good on her.
She's having a cup of tea.
I'm just plugging his computer and then he don't go off completely.
Oh, has he not plugged mains in, Shirley?
I'm plugging him in. It's all right.
Make sure you plug him into mains as well.
I will. Finger first.
Hey!
Go on, you can go now. It's right. It's working. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Only just about though, weren't it?
It took a bit of getting young.
Yeah.
Well, Zoom and older years sometimes don't go down too well, but it's a good job you've got a good support system around you, Graham.
It is, yeah. I've just noticed in the left-hand corner, my name's Graham Bushell.
Well, maybe that's the story we'll come on to a bit later on.
Yeah.
So, Graham, as I mentioned, started playing down at Burnley in the early 70s. What was your sort of journey into local league cricket or Lancashire league cricket?
Well, basically, my grandfather and my father were heavily involved in sport, cricket and football. And they introduced me to a very young age. I was about 7, actually. And my grandfather used to take me down. We used to walk it down Accrington Road, down Lane, Lowerhouse Lane, 1 week at Lowerhouse and then other week at Burnley. We just swapped. I like going down Burnley because I used to get a sandwich at Atlantis shop. So I'd rather go down Burnley because I got a sandwich. And that was the reason. But it was the year when I can always remember Charlie Griffiths were firing in. And I can remember sitting on the grass, and it was a nice hot day for all that grass. And Charlie's coming from the bloody side screen, tearing in against this cold batsman. I'm not sure if it was Malcolm Blackhurst. I'm not sure. I know he played for Colney at a certain time, but I couldn't swear to it. Anyway, he wrapped this lad on pads. And you know, pads in them days, they're not like they are now. He dropped him like a light. He fell on the floor, rolling about. I was laughing. I thought it was funny, but I thought later on in years, when I faced him with proper pads on, I didn't laugh then. So that was my introduction, basically. But then, obviously, I was still involved with my dad played for Coalclough Amateurs in Ribble Valley League. So I get a bit slightly older, but I'll be about 10, and I started scoring for him. And so that's a good introduction, actually, scoring. When you're not good enough to play, you score. So I was scoring for him. And I can always remember this time we were at Calderstones, and I was sat down there with one of their guys and was scoring. And he said to me, right, there's one of the inmates, and he's going to do the tins. So that's putting the numbers up. So I was sat down and scoring away. Then I forgot, and I went to put the tins up. And this, well, he weren't a full shilling, were he? He blew up. He went, well, only make 10. And anyway, they said, sit down. You just do that job scoring. Well, I'll tell you what, I never moved all game from that seat. I thought, bloody hell. But it was good that because you got introduced to cricket, you know, and you watch the game, and even at a young age, you analyse a game and watch, you know, it's interesting. It's really interesting. Good cricketers are actually a lot played down Lowerhouse at some stage. Rule Reeves, Arthur, Greenwood, Greenwood,
Herbert Marsden Bush. Yeah.
I don't know if Jack Sager played. He was a quick bowler, Jack, a bustling bowler. Big lad, big blow. He was a good cricketer. So some of them played down Lowerhouse at different periods, you know. So that was a good start. Just to go back, I forgot. Gary, your dad played for Coalclough, but I can't remember. The two, your dad was bowling at one end, opening bowling, quick. There was another bowler at the other end who were quick, and I can't remember his name. I wondered if you knew.
No, I was going to touch on this when you mentioned your dad, Alan, and I played an odd game with your dad, but it weren't when they were at Coalclough, because then they reformed at Railway, didn't they?
Well, yeah, all the Lowerhouse lads.
Yeah,
Red Lion, weren't it? Railway, Red Lion.
I think it was Railway.
Right.
No, you might be Red House. I think you're right.
Red House.
Yeah. So, because he was still, obviously your dad were knocking on at that point, so thinking he were only local league cricket, but you could tell he knew which end at bat to hold and all that, and he were regular. You know, he was just old heading them all. You know, he'd end up, I can't remember format at games, with 25 overs or something like that, 20 odd overs, and he'd end up 40 odd, 50 odd not out, and team would get 130 and win easy every week. And I think they were unbeaten that year. And there were a couple of games somebody didn't turn up because, you know, they'd been out with Charlie Chips the night before. And
they did win league. They did. That was year I was down Lowerhouse. They won league.
That were a time.
To have a celebration.
Weren't playing much myself, and just were going along watching my dad. And like I say, I think it were all remnants of Coalclough.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, there were some good lads.
Yeah, but I don't remember who the bowler is you're describing.
When I went to secondary school, I got into my second year at secondary school, and the maths teacher, I know I weren't right good at maths, he threw me out of class, but the maths teacher was very good to me, and he said to me, I've got a free membership for Burnley Cricket Club for coaching. So I thought to myself, well, yeah, I'll definitely go. Now, the end of the previous season, I've been down to Lowerhouse to watch the practice session. So I were going to go down Lowerhouse. But then when he gave me a free coaching member, I went, oh, well, I'll go down there. It's free, you know. Laurie May was the pro for Western Australian. He was the pro for Burnley. A nice bloke. I think he was a teacher, but not by trade. He was a teacher plus a professional cricketer. He played for Western Australia, and he's got good figures, bowling figures. He was a great bowler, but he was showing us batting as well. The same principles, coaching-wise, as what we do today. I can always remember, and there were a group of us. Majority were from grammar school. There was some St. Theodore's. There were me and Donald Williams. Donald Williams, me and him mated about. We stuck together because we thought two is better than one in this lot. He's grammar school. We'll stick together. He was a quick bowler. So, and a handy lad as well. So, with no problem. So, that's how I got down Burnley, basically. Played, progressed through. They didn't have any age. They were under 18s. I can't remember any younger age group. I think it was under 18s where you play when you were capable. I probably played when I was about 15.
And who else would have been in that team, Graham? Who sort of went through to Burnley? Senior.
Derek Emmett was a wicket keeper. Now he went to uni, and we didn't see much of him. He was a cracking wicket keeper, batsman, but we didn't see much of him after. It was a shame really, but that's what a lot of grammar school, obviously, they went to university. We weren't that fortunate with our education, so we could play cricket, so that were all right, But it was good. At under 18 level, well, before that, town team level. At town team level, there were a lot of Lowerhouse lads. Neil Hodgson, Phil Astin, who else? Trevor Gorton. And now he was a good all-rounder, Trevor. He was a great footballer. He played at Great Harwood in Northern Premier League. Good player, him. Good player.
Yeah.
Bob Spencer. Bob still helps down Lowerhouse. He does ground, the outskirts of ground. I see him when I go on. John Sudall. I think John was playing. Yeah, John played. And I think Clive Chell.
Yeah.
I just can't remember. I think them are the few lads where I can remember. A lad called Davidson from St. Theodore's. Now, he was a good footballer as well. I think he was pro. But they were good. Lowerhouse had a good under 18s team. Taffy were playing.
Yeah.
And James played for Lowerhouse under 18s.
Yeah.
Did a bloody good side. A far better side than Burnley. But I can always remember we played them down at Turf, and we're doing all right, Burnley, but they got too many big guns for us. But Phil's dad were umpire, weren't he? And Phil were bowling. Phil couldn't bowl, could he? But he were bowling, and I went non-striker, and he wrapped this lad up pads. It was never. And he said, "How is he, Dad?" And his dad said, "He's out, son." You've got best bloody team. You've got bloody umpire as well. What chance have we got? We've no chance.
Brilliant.
We haven't a bloody cat in hell's chance of winning.
Brilliant.
But he was still my mate. He was still my mate. I didn't fall out with him.
Yeah.
He was a good lad.
When you were in your 18s, I mean, obviously you progressed later on, and you were a genuine all-rounder. But was it always that case at a younger age? Did you think you were more of a batter who bowled, or?
No. I'll tell you what happened. When I was at secondary school, I played in the senior team when I was about 12, and I got hit. I got my cheekbone, an ice hockey ball hit me. Off a good length up. It was up Townley, Lower Townley. And I'll tell you the lad, and he was a pro, he went pro in, a lad called Greenwood. He played at Rottenstall, then went pro in, played over in Bolton area. Good cricketer, big tall lad. Well, I was about 4'9" when I played. He was about 6'2". Anyway, it pitched it up. I went forward just to work it. Boom, it hit me. Hospital. I was in hospital. Flipping face up like I couldn't see it to one side face. It swelled up to bugger. Anyway, I got it then. So that took me a long time to conquer batting because there were no helmets, obviously, nothing. Protection was limited. So it took me a long time. And then when I played in under 18s for Burnley, we were playing against Nelson. It was going dark, and I was batting, and he bounced me. And I went to hook it, and I hooked it right into my face, and the bastard caught me at square leg off my head. And then when I come right, Mick McLeod was our captain, because you had to have a senior player's cap. Mick
Yeah.
McLeod come running onto the pitch. Hey, all right? Well, I'm like that, weren't I? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm all right. I'll carry on batting. Oh, he said, no, they've got you out off your head. I went, I don't believe it. I don't believe it's bloody bad luck. So it took me a while to overcome getting hit twice, you know. So that's why, you know, it's hard. But I did overcome it. You have to do, haven't you? Else you pack in, don't you? Simple as that. So I did overcome it, and but I was still doing more bowling because of that, you know.
Right. Graham, that's interesting. That Graham, if I just, you know, the way, you know, we've played together, you know, from you know, you were, you know, a touch older than me, but now I didn't know that had happened previously for you, but I would never have known that. When I played in any, whether it was football or cricket with you, I would never have suggested or suspected that you'd had, you know, that sort of injuries at a young age, because it does affect people for their careers, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. It was mentally. It were difficult mentally.
Well, I never spotted that at all, Bush.
No, it were difficult, but you know, it's first time I've actually talked about it to anybody.
Right. Yeah.
No, because you know, mentally it affects you. But eventually got over it.
Yeah,
especially when you've got them bloody helmets to put on, or he could anything. I never wore one. I never wore one. Oh, I did when Andy Roberts and Michael Holding come in.
Yeah.
No, we'll come on to those years, no right.
Yeah, that's later.
Yeah. So under 18s, and like I say, injuries notwithstanding, how were you getting your opportunities then into sort of maybe thirds, seconds, first 11?
We played. Me and Donald, we played into thirds together. And then I think that were Ribble Valley League. Yeah, Ribble Valley League, if I can remember right. And then obviously we progressed up into second team. And Brian Moore, can you remember Brian Morsing at all? I don't know if you remember Brian. It'd be probably before your time. There were Brian Morsing. I'm just trying to think of what captains. Oh, Donald Ormrod. DG.
Oh, yeah.
DG. Later on, that was later on. DG now DG, great bloke, loved him to bits, great character, a real character. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you a tale now. We were playing in Cup against Church, and me and Donald, what we used to do, you'll see open bowling, like, and I might come on a change, I might open, but me and Donald, we used to like to throw ball at each other from a distance. So at Church, I went down to the bottom of the ground and he went to the top. So I'm starting, right, throwing ball to him to catch it. He's hurling it back and I'm catching it. Anyway, Donald walked onto the field, didn't he? He walked onto the field just as I'm letting go. And I let go and it hit him smack. Oh, it dropped him like a light, didn't it? Oh my God, we went over. Are you all right? Well, you should have heard him curse. It was terrible. Oh, I thought. So this is Cup game, right? Right, bowling. Throw it ball to Donald. You take top end. Church, it's big slope, isn't it? You take that top end with your pace. I thought, well, I'll have to bowl from bottom. No. I didn't bowl until the last 5 overs at game. 5, and we got beat. We should have murdered them. We got beat. I went mad. I went mental. Anyway, I used to work with Roland Harrison, was the captain, obviously. So I went to work. I said, I'll tell you what, Roland, you can shove your cricket right where the sun don't shine. I said, I'm sick of him. He told me off him. So he was laughing. I said, it's no laughing matter.
It's no laughing matter.
No, Graham. He's coming in to see you. I went, what? He's coming into work to see you. I go to Tannoy went. I worked with Lucas. Me and Roller were in tour room. Well, they were always taking Mickey, weren't they, at Luke? They say something over at Tannoy. You didn't believe him. Anyway, Graham Bushell come to the personnel department. Mr. Orwell's come to see you. They're taking the Mickey. I'm not going. Roller said, go. This is right, this. Anyway, I went to personnel. He was there, weren't he? Come in. Went in an office. He said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm sorry. I said, you're sorry, we lost game. I said, we lost game because you didn't bowl me. Well, last over. I said, I was pissed off. I said, I was going to jack in. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, Greg. No. He said, I like you. He said, I like you. You're a good cricketer. So he soft-soaped me, didn't he? So I stopped. Anyway, eventually got into the first team, you know, which were good. It were good, but the thing is, Burnley had at that period a very strong team amateur-wise. Joe Fletcher, Barry Foster. So they're a left armer, medium pace. Joe Fletcher, right arm, swung ball away quick. So I thought, well, I'm not going to get much ball in it. I'm this spinner. I mean, the spinners, and you know, sometimes they play two spinners, sometimes and they drop one, they leave one out to play at seamer. So I was like the all-rounder. So at the beginning, I didn't bowl much, and I batted late on because actually I was quite good in field. So basically, that's why I was put in to bloody field. So I thought, well, I'll do this for a bit, but not very good, is it, if you're not batting and bowling. Anyway, we did all right. We won league. 1978 is a long while ago, isn't it? 1978 won league, which were good.
Yeah, so you debuted in 72. How old would you have been then, Graham?
54. I'm not very good at maths, I told you.
18.
18.
Yeah,
18. I'm so proud. That was it. I was 18. We played in Worsley Cup. We played in Worsley Cup overnight matches, right?
Yeah.
I think that was church. Arrow Rhodes was pro for Burnley, and he couldn't come. He couldn't come to the match. So I went in as sub-pro fielder. Sub-pro fielder. Hey, I never looked back. I thought, right, this proing job, didn't pay me. Didn't get now. I thought I'd get off of his feet. But Arrow Rhodes, but I didn't really know him, you know, because obviously at 18, I'm not really. I were not into that age group, you know. I was more into young'uns, like we were just having a good time at Tick Gorton.
Yeah.
But they were too serious, really, for me.
Yeah, so like you say, we're a fairly well-established team, and I was just looking through there where you played sort of between 72 and 80, and like I say, from 18 to sort of 26 then, 25, 26, and you played 111 league games, so you're probably only playing, you know, 12 games a season, aren't you, sort of thing. And so, you know, was that part of the reason of moving, or well, what, yeah. But when you came to the end of the 80 season, what was going through your mind then?
Well, I got into when we won the league, the two years we won the league on consecutive years. I played the full seasons. Prior to that, Peter Plummer would be pro at one. I'd only play certain games, you know, because obviously if I were batting, they bat me down at say 7, 8, you know, because they're all capable of scoring 50. Even the bowlers they've all scored 50. You know, Joe Fletcher, even John Ritchie. John Ritchie is Lancashire League 50s, you know, and he was batting like that, you know. But we won the league twice with Medassa. We had a fantastic pro Medassa, fantastic. And we were playing 6-a-side cricket with a lot of Lowerhouse lads. Iggy, you know, well, Jonah had swapped then. He went down Burnley. He went other way, didn't he? Yeah. He went from Lowerhouse to Burnley. Steve G. And we're playing 6-a-side. Lofty. Now, actually, Lofty were an Iggy. Well, they were my mates. And I'd had enough down Burnley. I thought, you know, I'd like a new challenge here. And Lowerhouse, I mean, they were my friends. So I knew I'd be welcome. So I said to him, I packed in at Burnley. I was playing football. I were at Bear Cup. And I said, look, I'm packing in early that season. I'm packing in. So we won the league twice. There was season after. And I said, right, I'm packing in. I said, I don't like how you're running club. I said, you lost what potentially would be one of the best all-rounders this league has seen for a long while. You know who that were? Big John. Now, he were a good one.
Oh, yeah.
When he went down to your place, didn't he?
Yeah.
He went down to your place, and I was a friend of John's, and even though he was a lot younger, and I said, you've lost him. I said, now you're going to lose me, another all-rounder. And actually, end of that season, John went proing. He left Lowerhouse to go proing. So I thought, well, that's ideal for me. I could probably fill that all-rounder's spot. What John's going, you know. So it worked out very well. And I enjoyed it. I thought it took me a while down Lowerhouse because the wicket wasn't as good as Burnley. So batting wise, I struggled. The first season I struggled. I can remember it weren't easy. I did better, I think, second season, but it was good to bowl on, like, you know. It swings and roundabouts, and if you can bat and bowl, you're laughing. So you know.
Bush, how comes? So I'm just looking at your stats now. Why do you think it took so long for you to decide to move? Because it's clear that you're obviously really talented, a very talented cricketer. My mum and dad tell me that frequently. My dad always says you were brilliant to watch when you used to go home with my granddad. But there was, you know, there's sort of like 8 years or 9 years where you haven't had much of a go. And obviously, I know that they're a very good team, but that would have, you know, if that happened now, players would go halfway through a season rather than after 8 years.
Yeah, they're not as patient.
No.
It's silly, really, weren't I? No, the thing was, I didn't take it really serious.
All right, okay.
I played. I love my football, so I went playing at football at Stanley when I was 21. I went to Aki Stanley playing. Now that season at Aki Stanley, I started off in reserves because I was 21, but I'd only played in local amateur league up Townley. But within 2 months, they promoted me to the first team, which were in Lancashire combination, which were flipping totally different to what I've been used to. They kick lumps at you. but Accrington were a top side. That year we were runners up in Lancashire combination. We got beat with Morecambe, who were a Northern Premier League side in Lancashire Cup quarter final 2-1. At Great Orwood, they were in Premier League, but they had a reserve team in combination. So I was playing football, but coming right to the end of the season, I tore my ligaments in my knee and did my cartilage in my right knee. So I struggled. I used to take my knee, so it was like more or less solid, so I could bowl a bit and bat, you know. And then it eased off a bit. It just swelled up. It used to swell up after every game like a balloon. So I just never took it serious. I went to Bay Cup. I left there. I went to Bay Cup. The manager, Aki, went to Bay Cup, and he asked me, he said, "Will you come with us to Bay Cup?" I sent the team. Well, that was the worst move I ever bloody made playing on that pitch. It's like a one in four. It's like a bloody hell. I could never get to the top of the hill, me. Especially when I'm on a rake of ale. You can you know.
Madam Wreck.
Running up that bloody hill. I mean, can we not play down a long time? So anyway, I left that. I packed in there. I'll tell you what. Do you know why I packed in there? New Year's Eve, I went to a party and I was drinking pop. Bloody pop, because we had a game New Year's Day against Aki Stanley. I'm driving Shirley. I think it was Shirley. I'm not sure if it was. Anyway, I was driving in my Mini and it snowed and my exhaust dropped off. I got to the ground and they said, "I've had to name team, you weren't here." I said, "Don't matter." I said, "I'm packing in anyway." So I sat in stand with my clothes. And then at half time, he said, Bush, come on, you'll have to go on. So I got changed at half time, went on, like an idiot. And I said, "I'm still packing in." So I packed in and I went over to Legion, you know, Nelson at Legion. They were a joint venture at that time with Les Latcher. And there were a lot of Burnley lads playing, a lot of Nelson lads. And so I made some real good friends over there. That were great. I still keep in touch with a lot of them. They were a good side as well. But that's why, basically, I was split between football and cricket, you know, and it wasn't until later that I thought, once you've had a bit of success with cricket, and don't get me wrong, I love cricket the best. I started taking it a little bit more serious. And when and I'll tell you, one of the changing points were when I went down Lowerhouse, because I had to prove some of them, you know, to myself and to all the lads who wanted me to come. So I had to prove myself, and I have a lot of respect for Lofty and people like that. All lads in that first team, all lads in second team. It was the friendship was fantastic, and that's sometimes better than winning when you have that. And we had a great time. We had an absolute great time. Not only cricket-wise, but socially. Social-wise, all the wise went out. We all went out and we went to matches and we'd have a drink after on the way back. Just one. Only had one. Shirley had to drive. 1 gallon. No, but, even I'll tell you what, even the spectators down Lowerhouse, they were so dedicated to Lowerhouse. It was fantastic. You know, the atmosphere, it was second to none. I mean, I can tell you a tale when, Jez, you'll know, when we played Todd, we got beat at Todd. We got bloody beat at Todd, and we were playing them down house. And Rod Eswick were pro, and they wanted to, but they weren't full shillings, I don't think. So I think they're into bed, Todd, because that Ross, what's he called? Something Ross, weren't he? Albert Ross. What the square leg, deep square leg is claiming for LBW. He's running in. How is he? From deep square leg. Anyway, he needed a good smack. Anyway, Rod Eswick got out and coming off. I think a child went up to him and he had a bit of a dude. We pushed it away or something. Anyway, it flared up, and we had a van on Radio Lancashire, and the commentator. The van is being rocked. The van is being rocked. Oh, the van's being rocked. And they were rocking van. Luckily, they didn't tip it over. That's what did. They got in big trouble, weren't they? But they just rocked it a little bit to make him seasick. So it was funny that. But,
I do. I remember that book. He had, I think so. Yeah, and it all got a bit. All Lowerhouse fans were drunk and having a laugh and a joke about it. But you know, like I said, Albert Ross, he was running in with his arms flaying all over the place, just flapping about. And Rod Eswick was, a big fast West Indian bowler.
Wow.
And they wanted to fight. I think the odd fans from Todd and some of the Todd players. We were interested. There was more Lowerhouse fans.
We just wanted to win.
Yeah, just wanted to win and have a crack. But the Lowerhouse fans, just thought it was so funny. And then because he used to commentate live from Radio Lancashire, Joe. They lived live every week from a different ground. And they had a van that come on. It was almost like Sky turning up to Goodison Park or something. Oh, we're at Lancashire, Radio Lancashire's here. And it's a legend. I don't know if we could ever get a copy of it, but the fans were giving this bloke a load of grief because he kept saying, this game's been spoilt. And so someone, I think, I can't remember his name, a really big chubby lad with a bald head. He went on top of the van and he started, like, as Graham said, so some from the side were pushing it. This poor bloke sat inside it with his headphones coming off, and the lad on top's pushing, and his commentary's coming over, and the Lowerhouse fans are rocking the van.
I'll tell you another tale, eh? I'll tell you another tale when I were at Burnley. You know what Accrington, they used to have some toilets next to Old Pavilion. You go behind, there were some toilets there. Well, Shapcock and his mates, right, they didn't like paying. So we'd done some warming up. I thought, I'll have a pee. So I went round to toilets, right, just having a pee. And then all of a sudden, they all jumped over. Toilets into toilets. What are you doing? Oh, shut up. We're not paying here. We don't like these. We're not paying. Anyway, all right. Anyway, Radio Blackburn or Radio Lancashire, they had a big dish to take the sound outside at field, right? Yeah. And they kept walking right round, spectators, getting and all them, and swearing into the dish and carry on walking. They kept doing that. I'm sorry about that language. Idiots. Oh, it were funny.
Right, well, yeah, Radio Blackburn, that were it, Graham.
Albert Ross still plays at Walston.
How old is he?
He's the 13. He was. I don't know whether he's retired, but he certainly played last year. He was a 13 captain when they first came into the league. I mean, I don't know. He must be 6, I guess.
Yeah, I'll be older than that, Joe.
I'm 67.
He retired when
I yeah. Well, I didn't want to say 70.
Is he 70?
I think he's at least.
He's taking the piss out of me.
But just to go back to Joe's point there on your stats, I mean, and you say you struggled when batting when you came to Lowerhouse. I mean, you got nearly as many runs in 2 years for Lowerhouse as you did in 8 years for Burnley.
Yeah. Because I took it more. I did take it more serious. Plus, when I was down Burnley, right, we're batting late on. Roland, right. The plan was they'd stop there until last 10, ideally, just accumulate runs. But off the last 10, we had to get another 100 runs, right? So you went in and you'd have to just go for it.
Yeah.
So, you might get 10, 15 guard, but somebody else would come in and same. And it worked. We won most of the games, but Roland broke batting record.
Yeah.
And basically you won't get a bat. Now, the 2 years, the first year, I got chance to bat up the order. The second year, I got chance to bat up the order. But I had to get my mentality when you've been going in to smash it. I wasn't always playing the same game. I was going after pro. Yeah. And I get a few runs and get out. And they said, you're getting 20 and getting out. I said, yeah, I know. I can't, I need to restrict myself. But anyway, it worked.
What we're Roland like as a captain, he's one of
a good captain.
One of the
technically a great captain. Yeah. You could not fault him, his knowledge of game and the knowledge of the opposition, he used to analyse. I mean, even pros, we played a pro around a great good batter. Anyway, he shoved himself into short mid-wicket, which snaffled him straight away. Unbelievable decisions he made and the quality. But I mean, it were all right. It were a mate of mine. I worked with him, but I told him straight. Well, I'm going down Lowerhouse. I said, I want to challenge myself. I want to do a bit better, and I think men had a better attitude probably going down Lowerhouse, and it set me up because obviously I got the opportunity to go pro in, which were a bit of a shock really. I haven't designed designs on going pro in, but the opportunity arose. Trevor Jones rang me and I said if I were interested in proing. He said, I'll put your name for it. He said, I'm not doing it anymore. I've had enough. I said, yeah, it would be, yeah. Especially like at Reed, which is down the road, and they have a lot of interest locally with the spectators. And I thought, well, it'd be an opportunity to test myself against other pros, see how we go. I mean, you've got to if you don't try, you never know. Yeah. So I could have said, no, I'm not doing it. And then later in life I said, well, I had opportunity to go pro, but I didn't do it. Yeah. And I thought, well, I've had the opportunity, even though I'm going to have to leave Lowerhouse, I need to test myself again. So I did it, But I missed the crack. I missed the lads in Lowerhouse and the committee. I thought the committee, Jack was superb, and Clifford and people like that. They're all superb. They supported you all the way, and that's what as a player you need that support, don't you, from the backroom staff? And I enjoyed it. They're great.
Backroom staff, that's a different connotation at Lowerhouse, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Graham, it's worth mentioning here, certainly for the likes of Joe Martin and any other younger listeners who are out there to try and understand what you were about, Graham. You became, in my opinion, a far better cricketer. You were a good Lancashire League amateur cricketer who was, I think I don't know what year it was, it might have been 82. You had 400 odd runs and 40 odd wickets, in a decent side. That was Evan Gray's year. And you were going to be a good pro on those stats. But when you went, and because of your personality, because of what you brought to the club with your family, with with your ambition, your will to win, you were completely different than what amateurs are over the last 10 or 15 years who go pro in. A lot, and we'll talk about the likes of Joe Hawke, the likes of Ben. They're as good, in my opinion, as a cricketer as you were. Yeah. But I think for some players, being the pro just became a little bit too much of a burden. Whereas I think for you, it was the opposite. Was that something you consciously tried to manipulate, or it just came naturally?
No, I looked at the pros I'd played with previously.
Okay.
And I looked at the good points and the bad points, and a lot they're not interested in coaching, helping youngsters or anything. They don't stop after a game. They shoot back off wherever they. And I thought that's not the way. You're a club professional. You should be there to support the club. You know, it's not about money. It weren't about money where I went playing for. It was just about trying to compete really and see if I was capable of doing it. So it weren't money, but whatever money they paid me, they got it back.
Yeah,
they got it back because I'll tell you
fourfold.
I had some undinging dues. No, everywhere I went, I've been very lucky, mate. I was lucky when I went down Lowerhouse because the team was good with as bowling lineup. Lofty left arm, Brom, medium quicks. So left arm, Brom can cut it, good bowler, top bowler. Then if I come on change, and Evan, well, accuracy were unbelievable. They'd have me, well, we fell the short. You're going short with no helmets on, no bloody pads around, no box on you. Anyway, Phil, he'd go in. Phil was a great catcher, great close wicket catcher. Lofty me at first slip, we'll catch pigeons. So we're laughing, you know, and we were safe. We never felt threatened you're going to get it on aid. But,
in that season, Graham, there's a couple of games, you know, during your Lowerhouse career that I just want to ask you if you got many memories of. Start off in the 81 season. There were a couple of, you touched on them earlier on, Andy Roberts and Michael Holding were in the league that season as your first season down at Lowerhouse. And just looking through the stats, we also played them both in what seemed to be a strange Worsley Cup format those years. It was like 4 groups of 4. And you played 3 games, and then presumably the winners of each group went through to the semi-finals. But in that group, in that year, we were in with Haslingden and Rishton, and your first season. And we played, and looking at them, I think the Haslingden, the Rishton game was on one weekend. I think we beat them in a low scorer, so to bowl them out for 90-odd, defending 100 or something. And then the week after played Haslingden and Andy Roberts. But that ended up being played over 3 nights.
That's right, yes. Yeah, it did.
Have you faced anybody like Holding and Roberts or anybody in that sort of ilk of Test match royalty at that time?
Well, when Andy Roberts, we came back, the ground was still wet, very wet. And he bowled off about 2 paces and I was batting. And he bowled me Yorkers every ball. Every ball was a Yorker. Tremendous bowler. Eventually got out it in the other end. You've got to try to get run somehow, haven't you? You can't get it on the top pro, you've got to get them. So you eventually get it all out. But yeah, Holding, he was awesome. And when he run in, he was just intimidated. But the one game, I missed one game at Rishton because I was best man at my best mate's wedding. And we were supposed to have a do at night. Well, we had to do it. And I said, look, I'm best man at wedding. I said, I'll be finished at wedding, I'll stand door until you all come back. Well, it gets down from wedding, everybody's in. I went, what's gone on? Oh, he got slaughtered. And Trip got smashed on nose with Holding, and he put his helmet on after the bloody event. I thought, you daft bugger. Why would you put an helmet on once you've been smashed? Your nose is already gone, hasn't it? But I can remember batting quite well against Roberts up at Haslingden, but he didn't bowl as quick to me as Holding was. They were on you like a rash.
Roberts got 80 odd that game, didn't he, as well, and looked like he was just trying to smash it. Andy Roberts, again in the league match. And the other thing is, I couldn't work out who was captain in 81 because the scorecards. Other than the very first game you played in your debut against East Lancs when Iggy was captain.
I don't know what to do with Lofty.
With Lofty that year, he was captain in 81.
Yeah, I think it was, but I'm not sure if there was something else going on. And he did it for half a season, and then I think is that the year that Stan did it for a few games as well. And then Iggy did it for a few games.
Stan had no idea when he was captain.
Yeah,
Can I just mention something? When we played Rishton down at Lowerhouse, it's come to me now. I told Shirley, right, this season I need to get a chest pad because he's going to hit me a lot of times if I stay. So she made me one out of foam rubber, right? Foam rubber and Velcro. And I got an helmet, right? And I thought, when I was batting, I thought, right, you can hit me, I'm not bothered. So he bowled me his bouncer, and I shouldered arms, didn't I? And I got my arms right up. I thought, I'll take him on my chest pad. He tipped me right on the elbow. I thought, bat with one hand. I caught a short pain. Caught a short pain. I couldn't feel my arm. I had to bat with one hand.
Oh, brilliant.
Cricket.
Brilliant.
It bloody hurt as well.
In the second season in '82, the Evan Gray year, and obviously that's the year we sort of get closest to the first ever league win, which would have been something, wouldn't it? If you'd have won the league with Burnley and the league with Lowerhouse. I mean, there wouldn't have been there'd have been nobody who'd done that. But
no, that would be hope.
Yeah, that'd have been
that
fantastic.
Would be one hope.
And we brought it up. I mean, I asked you about your memories of that season in particular, if you have any sort of good tales. But we've discussed this a couple of times on previous podcasts, and it's the very last match of the season, which ended up being your last match for Lowerhouse, and obviously quite a controversial proceedings. What's your memories of that day?
Yeah, well, we bowled, and we contained them to 60 after overs, but they were never. Unfortunately, what we should have done, we should have produced an Indian wicket. We could have bowled them out for about 40. We didn't, and it didn't do much wicket. It didn't do much. We didn't. I don't think we got. I bet we got about 6 wickets, but I'd be guessing. You know,
I think we were 54 for 6 off, and it was 30. Yeah,
I know. And then we just knocked them off. We just knocked them off comfortably, obviously. But I can always remember Franklin Stevenson. If you look up, I think he were on 99 wickets, right? When we played him down Rottenstall, he bowled a really good slow ball, really good. But I picked it and I smacked it right out of the ground, right? And all Lowerhouse supporters started chanting. I went, "What? He'll smash you all over! He'll smash you!" I went, "Oh, Jesus, no." Anyway, when we comes down for the last match of the season, I think Franklin were on 99 wickets, and I went into bat, and he bowled me a beamer. And I'll tell you what, I never saw it, but I felt it. I felt it brush my nose, and I thought, and I went down to try it. I'm sorry, man. I said, "You will be bloody sorry." Anyway, anyway, he bowled me one on leg stump, and I flicked it down leg side for 4 and we won. I thought, thank God for that. I don't have to back any longer. Jesus Christ. But just check it. I don't know if you can check, but just check. I'm sure we were on 99 wickets at Franklin. I'll tell you, you know, but they're good lads, you know. They're West Indies, they're good lads.
Because Rottenstall that way to just deny the bowling bonus point, hadn't they, to end up to win the league? So yeah,
we needed that ball. Yeah, we need the bowling point.
Yeah, 99 Bush.
Yeah, I thought so.
99 wickets.
And he wanted me for his bloody 100th. I know what that was.
Yeah.
And he weren't going to get me. I thought, sod you might have won league, but you're not getting 100 wickets.
And just around that game, do you think, except for, you know, stuff with a wicket or anything like that, was there anything else that you could have done, do you think, to try and bowl them out? No,
we tried everything. I think I bowled about not so many overs, but they didn't get any runs, but I didn't get a wicket. So Lofty changed it, swapped it about best they could. Just one of them things. It weren't doing that much. You know, they were just, and when they can sit on you, sit on Evan, just pushing away. You know, it's difficult. You need wicket to do a little bit.
And I think, I mean, Joe, Rottenstall are a good side then. When you look at
absolutely. Yeah,
I mean, Peter Wood wasn't playing that day. I don't know if he wasn't playing that season, but Brian Payne, John Swanee, Steve Ashwood was the pro.
Glenn Barlow was a good player.
Yeah,
10,000 runs.
Brian Terry? Yeah, Phil Pickles.
Phil Terry.
You know, they're a good side, and if you're just determined not to get out,
see, we messed up. We messed up a few games early, you know.
Yeah. Brom mentioned that.
You know, and they were asking a lot that last game. They could have. I don't know if they could have declared it. I think they could have actually declared.
Yeah, I think they could. Yeah.
So, but I know a lot of friends. See, I used to go on tour with lads from Rottenstall, and they were a lot of they were mates. And I thought to myself, I hope we don't put them in that position where they have to declare. Yeah. Because it's not good for cricket.
No.
It wouldn't have been good. They wouldn't. So we didn't put them in that position. But the good thing is, Lowerhouse, from being a side, I used to have to apply for re-election. They held their own. They held their own with the best teams, and we were as good as anybody in that league. With a good bowling lineup, and his batting right down, they chip in. So we all chipped in. Bowlers chipped in. Like Dave Keeley were batting late on Sully, but they chip in. I can remember Dave Keeley at Ramsbottom. I think Shanta Demel were bowling left arm, and he were giving himself room. Well, I'll say it back in a way, giving himself room, cutting him. Me and him put a load on. We put loads on against him, and he was frustrated, but he didn't get us out. And so you need, and I think it's that camaraderie what brings you through sometimes. Lads who chip in when we're struggling a bit here. I can remember we played at Tomlin on a poor wicket, and we got out. Phil Astin, he stuck in, and I don't know how many runs he'd get. It might not 40 odd, but I'll tell you what, it was a match-winning knock. It was superb. Then he come off after the game and he says to me, "Graham, can you pour me some tea and some sugar in it?" I said, "Why, are you suffering from shock or what?" Because you got some runs. And everybody just cracked up laughing, and it was a bit of fun. Yeah. It was a shock.
Yeah. You're right what you say there, Graham. I mean, there's also, camaraderie's there, and there's something starting to happen after maybe the 60s and 70s where continually bottom of the league. I'm sure they'd have had a good crack. But you look at the players there, Phil Astin, Dave Bartholomew, a good cricketer. A good cricketer. Then Roger Brom, yourself, Rusty, Stan.
Played, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Brian Higgin, Lofty. Brian Holmes, like you said, Dave Keeley, and then the younger ones, Darren Taylor played a bit. Myself, John Ormerod. And your John played a game.
Actually, the younger lads coming in are quality.
Yeah, that's right.
You weren't carrying nobody because the younger lads are quality. Which were good. And now I went to watch in summer Leyland ladies, and our Grace, John's daughter, plays for Leyland. She has to play for Leyland some reason. Anyway, they were playing over at St Anne's, and I went to the bar for an orange juice, and I saw this West Indian lad. I thought, is that Dave? Anyway, I went to the bar, come past him. All right. He said, all right. I said, all right. And I went and sat down. Anyway, he sort of walking around. And I said to Shirley, I said, that's Dave Bartholomew, but I haven't seen him for 40 years. So she said, well, shout. I said, Dave. He looks right. I said, it is, isn't it? Bart, isn't it? Yeah, Bush. I said, oh, Bush, bloody hell, I went, what are you doing here? He said, I play here now. I said, how old are you now? Oh, I'm getting on a bit. But he plays in England over, is it over 60?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he must have a bad side of England. I'm only joking, Dave. If you're listening,
that's what subscriber we've lost.
Yeah.
No, I'm only joking.
Order! Send Morehouse to save the house.